deal with airplane peanuts.
We didn't talk about how they're taking away your scoops, ladies. Isn't that fucked up? They trying to take away your scoops? It's unbelievable. I just want to let y'all know right now, ladies, I am with you. I think it's your body, your choice. I agree with you on that, 100%. I agree with you when you say that men should have no say in the decisions you make with your bodies. Those are your decisions to make and yours alone. And I feel that way because at the end of the day, when we all go up to heaven and God's like, why were y'all killing babies? We're going to be like, y'all. I think they were very clear whose decision this was, God. Looks like you need to pay for your sins, babe. Even though I paid for your sins. Come on, y'all. Chivalry ain't dead till that baby is. You know the rules.
Today is Tuesday, July 5th, and Andrew Schulz is putting on the first ever pay-per-view live comedy event. His special, Infamous, is dropping on his website for $15 a ticket, July 17th. You can buy tickets right now, pre-sale, and it's the first ever pay-per-view like a fight, but it's a comedy special. Welcome back to the Joke WRLD Comedy News Update. Every single week bringing you the news that you need to know in the comedy world, whether it be new specials, new events that your favorite comedians are a part of, or even who went on each other's shows last week so you don't miss any podcast that you'd like to listen to. Normally we do these every single Monday, but yesterday was the 4th of July. I was pretty banged up celebrating our independence. So this week it's on Tuesday, but every other week will be a Monday comedy news. Subscribe now so you don't miss a thing. July 17th is when the special is airing. It's $15 per person, and it's streaming off of his website. Now, a few cool things that are included with this $15. One, you get access to the special forever. So it's not just when it's streaming. You buy it, you get to watch it whenever you want. Another key feature is that they're doing a live podcast after the special airs. So you'll watch the special with everyone else. They want you to be live tweeting about it, you know, like a fight, like a real pay-per-view event. It seems awesome in theory. And then there's going to be a live podcast after with all the dudes from Flagrant, Schulz and them talking about the special, maybe fielding some questions. So that's another really cool feature of this. If you're wondering why they're doing this in the first place, there is a little bit of a backstory to this. So Schulz was on the Infamous tour running this hour, and they sold it apparently to a streamer, a third party like Netflix or Comedy Central or HBO, somewhere to host the special like normal comedians do. And basically they're saying when they sold it to this streamer, they keep using the word streamer. I'm going to just start calling it Netflix because I think we can all agree Schulz wasn't putting his special on Amazon Prime or Comedy Central even. They haven't ever said Netflix, but we can all agree that it's Netflix. And I don't want to keep saying the word streamer because that makes me think it's like a Twitch streamer bought their special or something. So let's just call it Netflix, but it technically might not be. So they sold it to Netflix, and they basically had some notes for them, cut out a few jokes, cut out a few lines, and Schulz was basically saying on Flagrant today, he was like, you know, these jokes mean so much to him and to the whole crew that's worked on them for this last year, and it just doesn't really make sense for, you know, these jokes that are working on tour that people are appreciating, for these suits at these companies to be able to pull jokes, people who have never been on stage to pull jokes, who are getting offended on behalf of other people, to be pulling this art that he's worked so hard on. It just didn't sit right with him. So basically they bought it back from Netflix. So they sold it and then they bought it back, and now they're just trying to break even on this live stream, sell tickets, do a pay-per-view event so that their jokes can live on and that they don't have to cut anything.
I built my career in the beginning. I started it by doing comedy that they would never allow on these companies, right, or these networks. Comedy Central would never fucking allow it to be on there. And it was very successful. And I assume it was very successful because people are like, oh shit, this is the real. Yeah. This guy's being authentic. This guy's being real. He's being truly funny. This is kind of how I like to bust balls with my friends. These are the ideas that I like to see made fun of. And for me to sacrifice that when I finally got to this point where we put all this work into making this fucking special and something we're all, I believe, very proud of. I can't speak for you guys, but I think that we're all very proud of this fucking piece. And to be at that point and then go, no, I'm just gonna water it down so it can be acceptable. It's like, why we work so hard?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Why we fucking put all this work in? What's the point of that?
Yeah.
Why we sacrifice so much? Why we away every fucking weekend to just put something out that we're like, oh, well, it would have been nicer if I was able to say this, or this joke would have been funnier if I was able to say that.
From a fan perspective, it's dope that he's doing something like this because it shows that he cares about us hearing his jokes and his material as they were intended to be told, more than he cares about being on Netflix and making more money, maybe. You know, he's willing to buy this back with his own money to preserve the art. However, it's just kind of like, couldn't you see this coming? You know, like when you sold this to Netflix in the first place, you didn't think that they were going to have any notes on it. Like, this is someone in the industry who's been outspoken against censorship and about doing things on your own in the own way. It seems like they could have almost skipped a step and just done this from the beginning. But either way, pretty cool to see a live stream pay-per-view comedy event. And if you're like, it's kind of stupid that you have to pay $15 to see a special instead of just, you know, going on Netflix or whatever, and it's free or whatever your monthly subscription is. That is true, but I feel like it's worth $15 to have a no-filtered special, to have no censorship in your special, and to hear every joke as it's intended to be told. To me, that is worth the $15. I would pay $15 to have a non-watered-down version of Andrew Schulz's comedy, rather than going on Netflix and seeing the version that he's holding back in, and that's all edited up, and that's not the tour version. To me, this seems worth it.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like to just lop that off or change it. It's that would be very difficult.
Yeah.
You know, very, very fucking difficult. So I want to maintain the integrity of the piece, and that took, you know, us buying it back. Basically, long story short, it took us buying it back, and now we're delivering it right to you guys. And I think the cool thing about this is that if this works, and again, this is a gamble, who knows if it works, you guys decide if it fucking works. If you guys support it, Asshole Army, I hope you guys do. But if it works, and comics find out that they can make more money doing this than doing traditional network specials, there'll never be a note again on comedy.
Louis C.K. and Joe List have a movie coming out called 4th of July. Pretty exciting. Here's a description of it. Louis C.K. co-wrote 4th of July with comedian Joe List, who stars in the film as Jeff, a recovering alcoholic and jazz pianist who confronts his family during their annual Independence Day vacation. Louis also has a small role as Jeff's therapist. So pretty cool to see something that Louis C.K. and Joe List wrote themselves. Joe is acting in it. Louis has a small part. If you're a fan of their comedy, I would recommend checking this one out. I know that they're doing a few tours talking about it in New York, Boston, and Chicago, and then it's in a few different theaters, and definitely available online. Obviously, both these guys are great comedians, but this movie, just from watching the trailers and doing a little bit of research on it, seems more of like a serious film than a comedy movie, so I wouldn't necessarily expect, you know, just because these two are great comedians, that this is going to be like the funniest movie ever. I don't think it's going to be super bad. I think it's going to be a serious, well put together movie. I'm going to check it out. I just haven't yet. So 4th of July, starring Joe List, written by Joe and Louis C.K.
If you're going to a wedding, not Joe because he's a very close friend, but you're going to a wedding.
Didn't come to my wedding.
Really?
Was he invited?
Of course.
Ouch.
Yep.
Oh.
But
on the road or
took me to Paul McCartney. I made up for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking
Oh, God.
I was on record.
directed a movie that
That's on record.
I made
paid
up
for it.
No, you didn't know that at the time. You
fucking
didn't
ingrate
know
no
that at the
shit.
time. It wasn't like you were like, I can't come to the wedding, but 5 years from now I'll direct a film.
He might have known that. He's a very smart guy. Got an 880 on his
That's all right. What can you do? Next
I
wedding,
should've
you'll
gone.
be
I
at.
don't remember why I didn't go. I should have gone.
Yeah.
I'm sure he remembers.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Will you do this if you're at a restaurant? Will you walk up to the
Hey, but
bar?
what was the question?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot.
How do we go to a wedding?
What are you giving? Not somebody super close
Well,
to
I
you.
don't want to hear this.
It's not Paul McCartney, I'll give you that.
I don't want to hear this answer.
Really quick, just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who made it possible for Joke WRLD reaching 100,000 subscribers yesterday. I couldn't be more happy about it and thankful and grateful, and it's awesome. Don't want to spend too much time talking about it because I think we still have a long way to go. We're going to keep going, but just shout out to all you guys who like and comment and subscribe on these videos and who just love comedy, you know, as much as we all do. This has been a great community to be a part of. A bunch of like-minded people with the same senses of humor, fans of the same comedians, and who just want to laugh and enjoy their life. So thank you guys so much. 100,000 people got here early. We're going to 1 million. We're going to 5 million, 10 million. A lot of work to still do, but just want to say thanks. The guest list is where we go through the podcasts of last week to see who went on each other's shows to make sure that you don't miss any episodes that you would want to tune into. So starting off with this past weekend, Theo Von had on Mike Perry. Tiger Belly had on Fahim Anwar. Your Mom's House did not have a guest, but Two Bears, One Cave was Sal Volcano and Burt Chrysler last week. No Tom. Whiskey Ginger had on Andy Richter from Conan. Kill Tony had on William Montgomery's parents. And then Joe Rogan last week had on Duncan Trussell. They dressed up as 4th of July like colonial people, and that was just a great episode. It's always fun when Rogan and Duncan get the costumes out. It makes for a great episode. As far as new specials go, obviously Andrew Schulz and Infamous drops on July 17th. We already kind of covered that one. And then Stand Up on the Spot with Jeremiah Watkins is coming out July 11th. He's featuring Mark Norman, Ari Shaffir, Giannis Pappas, and the whole Are You Garbage gang on that show, which is a really fun show I got to go to once in Austin. They do it all the time, but basically people yelling out topics from the crowd, and then these great comedians just riff on that topic. So it's an awesome show to watch. That's coming out July 11th, and then Schultz will be on the 17th. But that's it for the Joke WRLD Comedy News Update this week. Again, today was Tuesday, but it's usually on Mondays. Comment any other podcasts or comedians or shows that you would like covered in this comedy update. We can easily make that happen for you. Want to make sure that we're covering all the comedy news that you guys really care about. Subscribe to Joke WRLD, download this episode on Spotify, and download all the Joke WRLD podcast episodes if you want to support the channel. And I'll see you again next time.